Okay, so welcome to the gut health class, everyone. Hope you find it beneficial, whatever you may suffer with, whether it's something chronic or just, general discomfort. I will just share my first slide. So we're just going to go through how we can support everyday issues that we may be facing or that of our family. So we can find some ways that can be really soothing for the gut and also to balance that microbiome in the gut as well. We know that's so important. And what are some common issues that we face? Does anyone ever get these? Bloating, if it's chronic IBS, gastritis, leaky gut, just to name a few. You may get heartburn or acid reflux, constipation, or the other way, loose stools. And there's lots of reasons why. Obviously, if you've been to the doctors, there could be sort of genetic reasons or if we're immune compromised or medication. A lot of things can affect our gut. Things like if we are on a course of antibiotics, that can really have an effect on our microbiome, can kill all the good bacteria as well as the bad. So, and also one of the biggest things is stress, isn't it, on our gut, with the gut-brain connection, which we'll talk about. We could also be deficient in certain foods, the vitamins, and that could have a compromised effect on our gut as well. So we're going to look at a few aspects of how we can sort of re-establish that balance in the gut. We're going to talk about the importance of enzymes, probiotics, the gut-brain connection. But first, we're going to look at how essential oils can help with our digestive function. We're going to look at a few here. So we've got lemon, peppermint, spearmint, ginger, and zengest. And just to give you an idea of how potent these oils are, so we're only talking about CPTG oils, just a little rider there. These are oils that are certified pure, therapeutic grade oils with not just your general sort of aromatherapy oils, because they could be almost like a fragrance. We're talking about food-based oils that are just taken from the herb or the fruit. So things like the peppermint oil, the humble peppermint oil, it's full of menthol, and then we've got carvon which in caraway oil and spearmint oil. These can actually enhance the absorption of nutrients and substances when we're taking it with food. Ginger oil actually facilitates the bioavailability of other oils and nutrients when it's ingested, and we know ginger and caraway are in the zengest as well as the peppermint. That's probably why zengest is just a great all-rounder. And what does bioavailability mean? It means the amount of something that actually makes it into the bloodstream once it's introduced to the body. So when we're looking at supplements, we want to be looking at those that are bioavailable, not just synthetic that are not absorbed in the body. We want the body to recognize it and utilize it well. So lemon oil, if you don't already know or use, is very cleansing for the body, but it's also alkaline, so it can really help with alkalinity in the body. We know that's important when it comes to stomach acid and things like that. So lemon would be the first base to go to for cleansing, using it daily on a regular basis to cleanse the body, to cleanse the digestive organs. Can really help with a sluggish digestive tract in the lemon. So that should be a no-brainer just to use that, and it's such a simple way. And then we've got peppermint, which can be used in conjunction with zengest. Peppermint on its own is so powerful. Some people find peppermint is better than zengest, and some people use them both in different ways. So you've got lots to look at there. And when we're looking at some of the ways we can use it, a lot of people ask, what's the best way to use these oils? And it really does depend on what we're supporting. So with the lemon oil, we would like to take that in a glass of water. That's one of the most effective ways. But if we're using, maybe we have nausea or travel sickness, then one of the most effective ways is to aromatically inhale maybe the zengest or the ginger oil to take off that nausea. And we can also dilute the oil and rub it over the tummy. That's really good if we're bloated or if the kids have got tummy ache. That's a really effective way to help reduce that and just to calm the sort of intestinal tract there. And we can also take it in a capsule. We can take it in a veggie capsule, any of these oils. You can add olive oil if you wish. So there's some of the ways that we can take it, and it really does depend on your personal preference and also what works for you. So it's good to experiment. Some people might say, oh, I like Zengest in a glass of water before a meal. That often gets the tummy nice and settled before the food's introduced. Some people prefer it after a meal. Some people don't like the taste and prefer it in a capsule. So it really does, it is down to personal preference. And don't forget, you can use it all three ways. So if you wanted to rub it on your tummy and take it in a drink, that's great as well. You get benefits all ways around there. So the importance of gut health, we probably know that 70 to 80% of our immune system is located in our gut. And one of the reasons is because our gut is heavily fortified with cells that participate in immune responses. So it's an area where the body is most exposed to all these antigens, which could be toxins or things, bacteria that come in from the outside. So it's constantly working at fighting off things. As we said, it's the largest immune organ in the body, and it's working at identifying these foreign substances and triggering immune responses in the body. One thing would be particularly like the histamine response when we may be exposed to something that the body doesn't like. So that's a typical example of our immune system. And that's one of the reasons why things like skin issues, maybe seasonal allergies, if we can try and get our gut right, often the skin and the allergies reduce significantly because our gut is balanced and it can deal with things coming in all the time. So it's starting from the inside. Okay. And as we've probably heard, our gut is often called our second brain. It kind of looks like the brain as well when we look at the intestines. And that's the reason, because it's got as many neurons as a spinal cord, and it even has its own nervous system. So there's two-way communication between the central nervous system and its own nervous system, and it's called the gut-brain axis, and it works together. They talk to each other and send messages to regulate the immune system, the endocrine system, and the nervous system. So never think that the brain is separate to the rest of the body. It's so connected in so many ways. Whatever we think can often come out in our tummy. If we're worried about something, if we get scared, you often find yourself maybe going to the toilet more or getting butterflies in your tummy because the brain's constantly talking to the tummy. So one of the reasons why reducing stress and anxiety as much as possible can really help with our gut health. So bacteria is a key to a healthy gut. It's one of the most important factors in our gut health is the amount of diversity of bacteria that live there, and this is known as the gut microbiome. So it's its own system of bacteria, and bacteria is so important. It affects everything: the integrity of the intestines, your mood, with the gut-brain connection, bowel regularity, our inflammatory response, skin health, metabolism, and cognition with the brain. So friendly microbes compete with undesirable microbes for nutrients and space to colonize. So it's important that we're getting enough of the good bacteria to help to sort out the bad. So there's a good balance there. And things like the antibiotics would destroy all the good. That's why we need to put back in a good layer of good bacteria. If we have been on severe antibiotics for a while, we may be suffering from tummy issues because of that. Okay, so leaky gut is common at the moment, isn't it? A lot of people suffer with it, and I actually got a little video to show you. So if I can just stop sharing my screen and just pop this little video on from this gut doctor. He can say it much better than me. There we go. 12 minutes. Sharing. Share sound. Okay, just give us hands up if you can't hear him.
Is intestinal permeability, which refers to how easily substances pass through the intestinal barrier. Intestinal permeability is a measurable feature of the intestinal barrier, and there are some specific and specialized tests that can be done to measure intestinal permeability. There is now increasing evidence for the loss of intestinal barrier function that can occur either abruptly, for example, after a major sepsis episode, or gradually, which can lead to chronic inflammatory diseases. When the barrier function weakens and the intestine becomes more permeable, allowing microbes and toxins to pass from the gut into the bloodstream, this is known as leaky gut. What causes this leaky gut? In some cases, you may be genetically predisposed to have a leaky gut, but we know that there are a lot of modern lifestyle drivers that can cause a leaky gut. The role of diet is very important. We know that a low-fiber diet can trigger the expansion of bacteria that can break down the mucus layer of the gut, predisposing to a leaky gut. A diet high in saturated fat can change the balance of certain bacteria found in the gut, and these changes are associated with increased intestinal permeability in the colon, that is, a leaky gut. Indeed, the Western-style diet of high fat and carbohydrates is known to be associated with leaky gut. Vitamin deficiencies, particularly vitamin A and D, have been linked to an impairment of the intestinal barrier and therefore a leakier gut. Burn injuries and alcohol consumption have been shown to be linked to leaky gut. Certain infections such as Helicobacter pylori have been shown to increase intestinal permeability. Leaky gut is linked to the development of certain diseases. There is growing evidence in recent years that intestinal barrier dysfunction is linked to the development of autoimmune disorders. Leaky gut has been associated with diseases such as lupus, type 1 diabetes, multiple sclerosis, chronic fatigue syndrome, fibromyalgia, allergies, asthma, obesity, and even mental illness. I should caution that while there are associations found, we don't have clinical studies yet in humans that show a definitive cause and effect. Researchers have looked at ways to help reverse gut leakiness. Prebiotics and probiotics, which we covered in previous videos, can be used to reduce intestinal permeability and thus improve leaky gut. We know that different bacterial species have been discovered that can protect the intestinal barrier by targeting different components of the intestinal barrier system.
Hope that give you just a bit of an overview on the leaky gut. So it's all about the permeability of the little villi in the intestines and letting these, obviously if they're wide opening because of whatever reason, they can let pathogens in and let things in and out, which is not good. So we need to be able to re-establish the gut lining. And as the doctor mentioned, one of the ways we can do that is by sort of rebuilding the gut lining. And we'll go in to talk about how we can do that, just to create that intestinal integrity, as they call it. I'll just go back to my slides now. Okay. Okay, yeah. So one of the things we can do to replenish the gut lining is to take digestive enzymes. I don't know if anyone's familiar with digestive enzymes. Enzyme support is crucial to healing and rebuilding this intestinal wall. So taking supplemental enzymes will, before we eat, will give us a jump start with our digestion. It makes food easier to break down and nutrients easy to assimilate. So we'd want to be taking 1 or 2 with each meal. And in most cases, the villi will rebound over the course of a few weeks, but some people may have to take digestive enzymes all their life to support their gut. And it says once the body has patched up the leaks in the gut, it's important to grow a healthy layer of good bacteria, flora that help protect this GI tract and assist with digestion. And we mentioned probiotics and prebiotics as well. And also fermented foods is a really good way of getting good bacteria in as well. So we're going to talk about a bit of a gut cleanse as well. A lot of things can lurk in the gut for years, even parasites and just nasty things. Candida is a common thing. So these are two things that we can use to support ourselves. We've got oregano oil, which is really powerful and potent, contains antiparasitic, antiviral constituents. You could use oregano to do a bit of a gut cleanse along with your lemon in water for about, let's say for 10 days, because it is powerful. You could use a drop in a capsule and take that for 10 days. We also have GX Assist, which Gillian calls Exorcist. Always makes me laugh, that just to remember the Exorcist. And this is got oregano in, but it's also got tea tree, it's got lemongrass, caprylic acid from coconut oil, and this is basically oregano on steroids. It does a lot more, and it's a bit of a scrubbing brush for the gut. So this can be used for 10 days again, and there's a two-way process. So using GX Assist or oregano for 10 days to give yourself a clean out and prepare it for the probiotics for another 10 days. So like the PB Assist, which we'll talk about. So clean out first and then put back the good stuff is a really good way to start. So we've mentioned lemon that increases the body's alkalinity. It's antimicrobial. It's a stimulant, a cleanser. And we've got Zengest, which has got some wonderful oils in. This is just 4 of them. And just looking at some of the oils in the Zengest, we've got ginger, which has got a calming influence on the digestive system. It may also help feelings of nausea and motion sickness. Peppermint is beneficial for things like food poisoning, vomiting, diarrhea, flatulence, colic, motion sickness. And then we've got tarragon, which is another oil in it, not mentioned there, but it's great for spasms, sluggish digestion, flatulence again. And then you've got fennel. We know how good fennel is for supporting the liver, but also the digestive function as well. Coriander, anti-inflammatory, help with flatulence. There's a lot of flatulence and other spasms in the digestive tract. And anise may help to calm and strengthen the digestive system. So all the oils in that blend have been studied for being effective to deal with the various problems. So it's adaptogenic. So if you've got constipation, it will adapt to what you need. And if you've got diarrhea, it will do the same thing. So our body is very clever, and these natural little molecules are very clever at working with the body to get to where they need. So Zengest is great for bloating. You can apply it over the tummy or take it in a drink or in a capsule. Things like colitis, abdominal cramps, Crohn's disease, food poisoning, gastritis, nausea, parasites. It's good for all those sorts of things. And for people that maybe suffer with acid reflux, we found it really effective just diluting it and applying it over the heart area for heartburn or acid reflux, and it can be really effective. You could apply it over the heart and also take it in water as well to just have it sort of double up on the power of Zengest. And we mentioned probiotics. So whether you already use a probiotics or prebiotics mix, PB Assist is a really special probiotic. It's a dual encapsulated. And the reason it's been encapsulated twice is because when it gets to the stomach, you don't want the acid to destroy it the first time. So it's dual encapsulated. So by the time it gets into the intestine, it can then flourish and release the good stuff. And it's got 6 billion colony forming units of probiotics. So it can enter into the gut safely. We also have a probiotic for children, which is a wonderful tasting thing. It's like sherbet, but it's out of stock at the minute. So we're dying for it to come back because it's just a lovely way to give the kids some probiotics, and it's great for their immune system. It's helped a lot of children as this one not only keeps strong with their immunity, but also with If they have things like eczema, it's really supportive. And also kids with autism, we have somebody who needs these all the time, so we're trying to keep them going with the stock that's left for this particular child who is really reliant on the probiotics. It's so powerful, isn't it, what these can do for us. And we talked about digestive enzymes. So enzymes play a really important role in our digestive process. And I didn't really know much about enzymes and what they did. But we actually don't have enough enzymes in our body due to the modern diet and things that we sort of, we don't, maybe stress, lifestyle, if we're on processed foods, or if we eat a lot of food that is not raw. So if we're cooking at high temperatures all the time, it can destroy a lot of the natural enzymes in the fruits and vegetables. So a top tip would be to try and eat a little bit of undercook the vegetables so they're a little bit harder, and that would be better for us. But the role of enzymes in the body, it covers every body system. So it's vital for us to have enough enzymes. And we'll see why in a moment. I didn't realize how important they were for us. But enzymes break down our food for us into the various constituents, so then it can be absorbed into the body and utilized. And it's activated by water, so always drink lots of water to help assist with that. But when we're thinking about how many we take, I'll talk about why it's so important. But let's say we're just having a salad. Well, one digestive enzyme would be fine. But if it's a heavier meal that needs a lot of digestion, then you maybe want to take 2 to 3 if it's a highly processed food. And that will really help our body to absorb the nutrients and to ease any discomfort as well. I don't know if anyone's seen the porridge video where I had 2 bowls of porridge, like half a day old, it's really sticky. I just opened the capsule of the Terrazyme and stirred it in, and then just didn't use one and just tried to break up the porridge, and it was just all gooey and like glutinous, like one mass. Whereas the Terrazyme one, it turned to water in the end. So that's just giving you an idea of what Terrazyme can do for our tummy, for our stomach. We can even use it on babies and children. Don't forget this Terrazyme, it's naturally occurring enzymes in our body, so it's not a synthetic thing. It's you can even put a little bit on the nipple for breastfeeding mums. You can open it and put it into baby's food, maybe half a capsule, and that can really help with things like colic and reflux for babies. I wish I had all this when mine were young. Things like constipation. So when you think constipation is the incomplete digestion of food, and the flow's been disrupted in the intestines, this can ferment, cause bloating. So Terrazyme, when you think of what it did to the porridge, what's it going to do for you? It's just going to help everything flow better. Waste is minimalized and it will not block your flow, so you'll be a lot more regular as well. So just to sort of re-emphasize, there's 2 types of enzymes in our body: our digestive enzymes and our metabolic enzymes, which deal with all our body sort of activities. Now, when we're eating something, digestion is the main priority of the body. So you think when you've had a meal and you want to sit down, the body is just concentrating on getting that food processed and out and absorbed. I'll just invite this lady back in. So have you ever heard the saying starve a fever? Well, the reason is you want the body to fight the infection rather than work on digestion. So if you're having a big heavy meal, all the body's doing is all its energy is in the digestive tract trying to process the food rather than deal with the problem in the body with your immunity, whatever's going on with a virus or whatever. And that's often why we get tired after a meal. We've had a big heavy meal, we haven't got enough enzymes, digestive enzymes, so our body's stealing the metabolic enzymes to cope with the process of digestion. So basically taking Terrazyme is like hiring a cleaner for your house. It's doing the job for you. It's sort of adding that extra service to us. So it's just going to help with our energy. And I found personally having Terrazyme is just like your body's just going to work a lot more efficiently. And there's lots of other benefits to these enzymes as well. If you take enzymes on an empty stomach, which a lot of the protocols in some of the books may say take digestive enzymes, it's because it acts as a cleaner to the blood and help to combat inflammation. It can also break down and clean fatty plaques from arteries and veins. So amazing, isn't it, what it can do on an empty stomach? Also healing. Let's say we have persistent sort of scars, or our body's not healing as quick as it should be doing. And when you think of if your body's just dealing with digestion, it's stealing all the other repairing enzymes for the body, it's not going to heal as well. So using a digestive enzyme is just going to help promote wound healing quicker, because enzymes eat scar tissue. So we need so many enzymes in our body. So it's useful if we are preparing for maybe an operation or post-op to take digestive enzymes to help with that healing process as well. It's common now for people to have low stomach acidity, which can, when the acidity is low, it cannot obviously produce or break down food as much. And it also creates panic in the body and creates high histamines to trigger more stomach acid. So Terrazyme can actually help with people who suffer with allergies. We know sometimes that can be a gut issue as well. So definitely useful to try digestive enzymes to see if that helps with allergies as well, and take before the season starts so it's in your system. Things like head tension. Often head tension is related to problems in the gut, so we could try Terrazyme for that. When we think of repairing damaged tissue and joint recovery, again, enzymes just going to help to speed that up as well. So what can it not do is the question. It's so wonderful. Also, if anyone suffers with gallbladder problems or they've had it removed, Terrazyme, it is known as gallbladder in a bottle. It can do a lot of the things that the gallbladder does, and also supportive of people with diabetes for the pancreas, and anyone who has sort of gluten sensitivities. When we see what it can do for the intestinal wall, that can really help if you're a celiac or something like that as well. So that's a little bit about digestive enzymes. And then just a little bit about the Lifelong Vitality Pack. So this is flooding your body with all the good vitamins and minerals, but they're a little bit different to things that you might have bought from the health food shop. These are whole food based, and they're absorbable by the body rather than being synthetically made or ground up. So we know what we're getting here is a full dose of nutrients, including milk thistle, all the sort of herbal extracts you would buy, as well as polyphenols. We've got turmeric, we've got kale, dandelion. In fact, the whole pack is roughly about 12 portions of fruit and vegetables, covering everything that we need for optimal function of our major organs in our body. It also includes essential oils as well. The good thing about this is it's one of doTERRA's biggest best-selling things. And you think it's essential oils, but it's actually the Lifelong Vitality Pack. They're so confident that it's going to change you for the better that you've got a money-back guarantee with that. So if you don't feel any different after 30 days, you can have your money back. You may feel the difference in energy or even digestion or hormone balance. There's a lot of things that these can cover. Obviously, if you're just flooding your body with everything it needs, then it will balance out, and you will feel different everyone's different. So you may feel the difference in various aspects of your life. So that's something to think about as well. These also have a tummy taming blend in it as well to help with digestion. And just a little bit of a regime. So whether you've just got Zengest or lemon, doesn't matter. These are some of the ways that we can use it to support our digestion. So this is what I do on a daily basis. Wake up, lemon in water. You may want to try peppermint before meal, or a Zengest before meals or after meals, depending on how you use it. And with each meal, I would definitely take Terrazyme. If not, if breakfast is very light, you might want to just take it for the bigger meals as well. and PB Assist for the probiotics. You could take that for 10 days of the month, or you could take it every day if you wish. It's just full of good stuff, so it's not a problem. So just move on to, for those who haven't got an account, these are some of the kits you can start with. There's a Daily Habits kit, which contains a lifelong vitality pack, the Terrazyme PB Assist, and a selection of the essential oils. And then we've got I think this is called the Cleanse and Restore kit, which can include Zengest, Zendocrine, which is a sort of liver and kidney cleansing blend. And then we've also got GX, PB Assist, and Terrazyme, which we discussed there. So that might be a good start for you as well. But you can discuss that with whoever invited you. But if you've got your own shop now, you can take advantage of any of these supplements that you may want to at wholesale price. So I will just stop sharing and open it up to questions. Anyone's got any questions? Oh, I'll stop recording first as well.